Dear student, this is the third session on sympathomimetic drugs. In the previous sessions, we have discussed the synthesis of catecholamines. We discussed different types of sympathetic receptors, and we also discussed effect of sympathetic system on various body organs. In this session, we will discuss effect of sympathetic system on cardiovascular organs, skeletal muscles, and on blood potassium level. First, we will discuss effect of sympathetic system on heart. As we have discussed already in the previous sessions, effect of sympathetic system on heart is predominantly by beta 1 receptor mediated. Beta 1 receptors are present on heart as well as on JG cells of kidney. As we have discussed, parasympathomimetic drug have cardiac depressant action. On the other hand, sympathetic system has cardiac stimulant action. They have positive chronotropic action, positive dromotropic action, and positive inotropic action. Through positive chronotropic action, they increases heart rate by enhancing pacemaker activity of SA node, which is the pacemaker of heart. But it not only increases the pacemaker activity of SA node, beta 1 receptor stimulation also activate latent pacemaker in AV node. So now the two pacemaker are present in the heart, SA node and AV node, so arrhythmia can occur. Whatever the electric impulses are generated in SA node, they are propagated at a faster rate to the downward structure. So there is positive dromotropic activities also there. Dromotropic means conduction activity is increased. Through AV node, bundle of his atrial and ventricle fibers, this conduction velocity is increased through all of the cardiac structures. So partial AV block may increase. So it is also a type of cardiac arrhythmia. So sympathetic drugs may predispose the patient to cardiac arrhythmia. They also have positive inotropic activity. Inotropic means force of contraction. Cardiac contraction is increased. When the cardiac contraction force is increased, cardiac output increases, and because the cardiac contraction increases, so cardiac work increases, so proportionately oxygen consumption also increases. So now we will discuss the effect of sympathetic system on blood vessels. Vascular smooth muscle has two type of receptor, alpha 1 receptor and beta 2 receptors. Alpha 1 and beta 2. Alpha 1 stimulation causes vasoconstriction, beta 2 stimulation causes vasodilatation. So both of the receptors acts against each other. One causes constriction, other causes dilatation. So the blood vessel which have more alpha activity, more alpha receptor as compared to beta receptor, they will undergo vasoconstriction. Blood vessels which have more beta 2 receptor density as compared to alpha 1 receptor, these blood vessels undergo vasodilatation. So whether the blood vessel will undergo vasoconstriction or vasodilatation will depend upon density of alpha 1 and beta 2 receptors density on that blood vessel. The action of adrenergic drug is most marked on arterioles and precapillary sphincter. Large arterioles and veins are affected at a higher dose. As we have seen, blood vessel will undergo vasoconstriction or dilatation will depend upon the density of alpha 1 or beta 2 receptor on blood vessel. It will also decided by the drug also. For example, norepinephrine. Norepinephrine have very less beta 2 receptor activity. It has alpha receptor activity predominantly. So norepinephrine will cause vasoconstriction because they lack beta 2 receptor activity. In the same line, isoprenyline, it lacks alpha activity but they have beta 2 receptor activity. So isoprenyline will cause vasodilatation because they have beta 2 receptor activity and beta 2 receptor stimulation causes vasodilatation. But epinephrine is the drug which stimulate all subtypes of receptor, alpha 1 as well as beta 2. So blood vessel neither go vasoconstriction or vasodilatation because of epinephrine. So you have to keep remember one important thing. Norepinephrine stimulate all subtypes of receptor except beta 2 and isoprenyline stimulate all receptors except alpha. So what we call norepinephrine, what is the another name for norepinephrine? That is noradrenaline, which can be abbreviated as NA. So keep remember Na means noradrenaline. Na बीटा 2 को ना करता है मीन्स फर्स्ट Na का मतलब नॉरएड्रेनालिन, बीटा 2 को ना करता है, सेकंड Na का मतलब ना मीन्स नो. ओके, ना बीटा 2 को ना करता है. तो रिमेनिंग ड्रग आइसोप्रेनिलिन, ये किसको ना बोलेगी? ये अल्फा को ना बोलेगी. ओके, Na बीटा 2 को ना. तो कीप रिमेंबर जस्ट फ्यू वर्ड्स, बीटा 2 को ना, दैट मीन्स Na बीटा 2 को ना करता है, बीटा 2 को ना. सो आइसोप्रेनिलिन lacks alpha activity. This is very important concept and very frequently asked in different types of questions in exams. One important point you have to keep remember about epinephrine. Epinephrine, as we have discussed, have activity against all subtypes of receptor. Alpha 1 and beta 2 are stimulated. But there is a one difference between affinity towards alpha and beta 2 receptors. What is that? At high dose, epinephrine stimulate alpha receptors more as compared to beta 2 receptors. Alpha, so at a high dose, when the epinephrine is given intravenously, because it is given intravenously, instantaneously, immediately high dose is achieved in body, in blood circulation. So first alpha receptors action are seen because at high dose alpha effects are stronger as compared to beta 2, and alpha receptor stimulation causes vasoconstriction, and because of vasoconstriction blood pressure rises. You have read in physiology. At low dose, beta 2 action predominate on alpha action, and beta 2 receptor action predominates, so vasodilatation occurs, and because of vasodilatation BP falls. Okay, now we will see this concept through graph and one phenomena that is called as Dale's vasomotor reversal phenomena. Just see the first graph A. When the epinephrine is given exogenously, what happens? As we have discussed, at the high dose alpha 1 action predominate over beta 2 action, and because of alpha 1 action vasoconstriction occur, and because of vasoconstriction blood pressure rises. So this graph shows the effect of epinephrine on blood pressure. So blood pressure rises initially because of alpha 1 action and beta 1 action. Beta 1 causes cardiac contraction. So systolic blood pressure rises, and because of alpha 1 diastolic blood pressure rises. So initially blood pressure rises, but when the concentration of epinephrine lowers down, at the low dose beta 2 action predominate, and because of beta 2 action vasodilatation occur, and because of vasodilatation blood pressure falls. Okay, now see the B graph. Here epinephrine is given, but before giving epinephrine, alpha blocker is given, which antagonize alpha action. So when the epinephrine is given, alpha activity is antagonized. Alpha activity of epinephrine will not be shown. So blood pressure does not rises, and whatever the small rise you can see in this graph, that is because of beta 1 effect, that is not antagonized by alpha blocker. So epinephrine directly causes fall in blood pressure, because fall in blood pressure is because of beta 2 action, and which is not antagonized by alpha blocker. So the effect of epinephrine, which was previously hypertension, rise in blood pressure, now rise in blood pressure is not seen, fall in blood pressure is seen. So the effect on blood pressure has been reversed, and this is called as vasomotor reversal of Dale phenomena, that is seen only by epinephrine. It will not be shown by norepinephrine, it will not be shown by isoprenaline, because whether you administer norepinephrine or isoprenaline, either of the drug have one action only. One is having alpha action, other is having beta action. And to show vasomotor reversal of Dale, the drug should stimulate both type of receptor, alpha and beta. In the C graph, you can see here, epinephrine is given after administration of beta blocker, so it will not show beta 2 action. So epinephrine will increase only blood pressure. Fall in blood pressure is not seen because beta 2 receptors are antagonized, and because beta 2 receptors are antagonized, there is no vasodilatation, so there is no fall in blood pressure is seen. Okay. So vasomotor reversal of Dale is very important for your exam point of view. As we have discussed, response of blood vessel, whether they will undergo vasoconstriction or vasodilatation, will depend upon ratio of alpha and beta receptor. If they have blood vessel more alpha receptor as compared to beta receptor, that blood vessel undergo vasoconstriction. If blood vessel have more beta receptors, beta 2 receptor as compared to alpha 1 receptor, that will undergo vasodilatation. Following that concept, blood vessels present at skin, mucosa and splanchnic site, and pulmonary blood vessels also, they have more alpha 1 receptor as compared to beta 2 receptor. So blood vessels of these body site will undergo constriction. Blood vessel of skin, mucosa and splanchnic and pulmonary blood vessel undergo vasoconstriction. Pulmonary blood vessel also undergo vasoconstriction under sympathetic stimulation, so they will decongest of lungs. That is helpful in treatment of bronchial asthma. Coronary arteries have more beta 2 receptor density as compared to other receptors, so they will undergo vasodilatation. So beta 2 receptor activity is helpful in coronary constriction. Skeletal muscle blood vessel have more beta 2 receptor activity, so they will also undergo vasodilatation under sympathetic stimulation. Cerebral blood vessel Density of alpha 1 receptor is equivalent to beta 2 receptors. So there is no change under sympathetic stimulation. Renal blood vessels have more alpha 1 receptor as compared to beta 2. So they will undergo vasoconstriction. But apart from alpha and beta receptors, they also expresses D1 receptor. Because of D1 receptor stimulation, they will undergo vasodilatation. So renal vasculature does not change as appreciably as skin mucosa and splanchnic. Okay, because beta 2 receptor and D1 receptor 2 receptor stimulation are causing vasodilatation, while alpha 1 receptor stimulation causes vasoconstriction. So their change is not appreciably changes as SMS. So as we have discussed, it depends upon the location where the blood vessels are present. So meet out the demand of the body during fight and flight. Heart need more blood, so coronary artery should be dilated, and that also happens under sympathetic stimulation because sympathetic system prepares the body to fight and flight. And to prepare the body fight and flight, heart should get more oxygen, more blood. For that, coronary artery should be dilated, and that is possible through beta 2 receptor more density on coronary artery. To fight and flight, skeletal muscle need more oxygen, more blood. So blood vessel get dilated. So obviously skeletal muscle have more density on of beta 2 receptor as compared to alpha receptors. So these above demands are compensated by drifting some blood from skin, mucosa and splanchnic and pulmonary blood vessels. So the blood is shifted from skin, mucosa and visceral organs towards heart and skeletal muscle to prepare the body for fight and flight. Now we will discuss the effect of sympathetic system on blood pressure. Blood pressure is of two types, systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure is determined by cardiac output, and cardiac output is determined by beta 1 receptor. Okay, diastolic blood pressure determined by the state of blood vessel. If they are dilated, if there is vasodilatation, blood pressure falls. If there was a constriction, blood pressure rises. Vasodilatation is because of beta 2 receptor. Vasoconstriction is because of alpha 1 receptor. So alpha 1 receptor causes vasoconstriction, and because of vasoconstriction, blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure rises. Beta 2 receptor stimulation causes vasodilatation, and vasodilatation causes fall in diastolic blood pressure. Alpha 1 receptor stimulation causes vasoconstriction, and vasoconstriction causes rise in diastolic blood pressure. In this rise in diastolic blood pressure stimulate baroreceptor mediated release of acetylcholine. So heart rate is decreased via activation of M2 receptor. As we have discussed, M2 receptor action are cardiac depressant action. And because of decreased heart rate, diastolic blood pressure settle down to normal. So this is the reflex action, this is the compensatory mechanism in our body. Increased diastolic pressure causes decreased heart rate, and because of decreased heart rate, diastolic blood pressure falls to normal. Beta 2 receptor stimulation causes vasodilatation. Because of vasodilatation, diastolic blood pressure falls, and because of fall in blood pressure, central sympathetic outflow increases, so heart rate increases. So reduction in BP, fall in blood pressure causes heart rate increase, and because of heart rate increase, blood pressure also rises. This is the compensatory phenomena of body. Okay, so that will seen on the in this table. Systolic blood pressure is regulated by cardiac output, while diastolic blood pressure is regulated by state of blood vessels. When the systolic blood pressure is regulated by cardiac output because of beta 1 receptor, while the state of blood vessel is decided by alpha 1 and beta 2 receptor. Alpha 1 causes vasoconstriction causes increase in diastolic blood pressure. Beta 2 receptor stimulation causes vasodilatation, and vasodilatation causes increase of diastolic blood pressure. So because of beta 1 receptor stimulation, heart rate increases directly. And because of diastolic blood pressure, if the diastolic pressure rises, heart rate decreases reflexly. If the diastolic blood pressure falls, heart rate increases reflexly as a compensatory phenomena. The all concept will be discussed here in this table again. Here in the first column, 3 drugs are written: adrenaline, that is epinephrine, noradrenaline, norepinephrine, and isoprenaline. Okay, all the 3 drugs, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and isoprenaline, they have strong beta 1 action. All the 3 drugs are cardiac stimulant. So systolic blood pressure rises because of beta 1 action. Okay, but what about the diastolic blood pressure? As we have discussed, epinephrine stimulates both receptor alpha 1 and beta 2. Alpha 1 causes vasoconstriction, beta 2 causes vasodilatation. Vasoconstriction causes rise in blood pressure, rise in diastolic blood pressure. Beta 2 receptor causes vasodilatation, vasodilatation causes fall in diastolic blood pressure. So both cancels effect of each other. So there is no increase neither decrease in diastolic blood pressure. There is nil effect on diastolic blood pressure because of adrenaline. But what happens with norepinephrine? Beta 2 को ना, that means beta 2 action is absent with norepinephrine or noradrenaline. Alpha action is present, and alpha action causes vasoconstriction, and because of vasoconstriction there is increase in diastolic blood pressure. Okay, isoprenaline, it doesn't have beta action, it have only alpha action. Isoprenaline, it doesn't have alpha action, it has only beta action, and because of beta action, beta 2 action, it causes vasodilatation, and because of vasodilatation fall in blood pressure is seen. So the 2 columns are explained. Now come the third one. Heart rate direct action are regulated by beta 1 action, and all the 3 drugs have beta 1 action. So because of the direct action, all the 3 drug increases heart rate. Okay, heart rate is also regulated reflexly, indirectly. When the diastolic blood pressure is increased, heart rate decreases. So in the case of epinephrine, there is nil effect on diastolic blood pressure, so there is nil reflex action on heart rate through M2 receptor. In case of norepinephrine, diastolic blood pressure is increased, so heart rate is decreased reflexly. In case of isoprenaline, diastolic blood pressure falls, so heart rate is increased reflexly. So the net effect of heart rate is decided by the arithmetic sum of direct and reflex action. In case of epinephrine, heart rate is increased ultimately. Norepinephrine, heart rate is decreased ultimately. In case of isoprenaline, heart rate is increased. Okay, So this is the all the explanation of this table. You have to keep remember few of the point. One point at least, norepinephrine decreases heart rate ultimately. The sum effect, the total effect of norepinephrine is decreased heart rate, while the epinephrine and isoprenaline causes increased heart rate. Okay. Now we'll see what is the effect of sympathetic system on skeletal muscle. Although epinephrine does not directly excite skeletal muscle, it facilitates neuromuscular transmission, particularly that following prolonged rapid stimulation of motor nerves. Epinephrine stimulates alpha receptors, basically alpha 1 receptors, and these alpha receptors are presynaptic in nature. And stimulation of presynaptic alpha 1 receptor, they cause more rapid increase in transmitter release, and this transmitter is acetylcholine. So stimulation of presynaptic alpha 1 receptor causes rapid increase in transmitter release of acetylcholine. And as we have discussed, acetylcholine is increased, it act upon the NM receptors. So skeletal muscle contraction increases. And because of this nature, epinephrine is given intra-arterially to increase strength of injected limb of patient with myasthenia gravis. In patient of myasthenia gravis, muscle strength is decreased and the strength of skeletal muscle is increased by injecting epinephrine intra-arterially, because this epinephrine act upon the presynaptic alpha 1 receptor, which causes more release of acetylcholine. Okay. Few of the selective beta 2 agonists increase physiological tremor, at least in part because of beta receptor mediated enhancement of discharge of muscle spindle. And this adverse effect is very important, significant in case of beta 2 agonists that are used in treatment of asthma, salbutamol, terbutaline, formoterol, terbutaline. This adverse effect is very prominent, that causes skeletal muscle tremor. Now we will discuss blood potassium level because of sympathetic stimulation. Sympathetic stimulation causes hypokalemia, fall in blood potassium level. Why? Because cell uptake more potassium. When the potassium enters in the cell, their concentration in blood falls, so hypokalemia occurs. And this is because of activation of beta 2 receptors. Okay, and because of hypokalemia, potassium is also excreted less out of the kidney. This property of hypokalemia is used in treatment of hyperkalemic familial periodic paralysis. In this disease, muscle undergo episodic flaccid paralysis along with hyperkalemia and depolarization of skeletal muscle, which is treated by sympathetic drug. We will use in treatment of beta 2 selective agonist salbutamol for treatment of this disease. Salbutamol is also called as albuterol. So this completes the discussion on cardiovascular organs, skeletal muscle and blood potassium level.